Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. Now then, this video, I'm going to talk to you about this young lady up in the top right-hand corner, Sarah Stern. And, you know, as someone who talks a lot about true crime and has been interested in true crime for a long time, I've watched countless videos about crimes, you know, some of which seem worse than others, all types of crimes. But if, like me, you are interested in true crime, you know that there are some crimes that haunt you more than others. And that's not to say that the other people aren't as important as that person, but some, you know, to each individual, some crimes strike a chord, don't they? For whatever reason. Could be you identify with them in some way. Maybe they come from a similar background as you. Maybe you can imagine yourself when you were that person's age and their story resonates for whatever reason. It could be because they're a mother and you're a mother, you know. It could be because they're a father and you're a father, whichever. If you watch a true crime and you take an interest in true crime, there'll always be cases that will haunt you more than others for whatever reason. Sometimes it's not really clear why one particular case will haunt you more than maybe another similar case will. Sometimes, you know, and as I've said, sometimes to me, feels like they're almost calling out to me to tell their story. Sometimes I just feel that from victims. I feel that with this girl. I felt it with many others. And other times, maybe, you know, I don't feel it as strongly. Maybe the connection between me and the victim, it's like I feel for them, I empathise for them. But there are just sometimes there's a real strong feeling from a victim. That's how I feel with Sarah Stern from the very first time that I heard about Sarah's story, which was a long time ago, at least, you know, probably at the time that it happened or shortly afterwards, a crime that was covered on another YouTuber, a favourite YouTuber of mine. And it's just stuck with me ever since. And since I've started covering true crime, you know, in a serious way, I've been wanting to do this story, tell Sarah's story. So I want to dedicate this video to Sarah and to her father, Michael, because, you know, well, you'll see as we go through what happened. That part of this is his story as well. I mean, it's always the family's story as well, but particularly for Michael, because Michael was called into question himself in this case by the real perpetrator. So, you know, he not only had to lose his daughter, but he suffered sort of being accused, really, or shade cast on him as well. You know, it's just awful what he had to go through. Anyway, let's chat. So I'm gonna send my thank yous. Thank you, as usual, to everyone who subscribes. If you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing. If you want to hear more videos like this, or if you enjoy this video, don't forget to leave your DNA on the like button, please. If you feel like it, it's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. But thank you anyway for watching. Thank you to my members, especially. Thank you to everyone who PayPals me, sends me super sticker, or buys me a Ko-fi or helps in any way to support my channel. Thank you so much. So let's get on to talking about Sarah. Now, I'm going to say hello to the people that are in the chat. I also want to say hello to people who are watching at home, people watching on replay, of course. You know, hi to all of you. But the people that are participating in the chat, hi, David. Hi, Anna. Anna. Hi, Angel. Hi, Lorna. Hi, Yvonne. Yvonne's walking the dogs. Yeah. Okay. So now you may or may not have heard about this case. It's not a very high profile case, which, you know, there are quite a lot of videos about it. But there's no, well, I couldn't find a Wikipedia page about Sarah, which I found a bit wrong, really, because I know Wikipedia is Wikipedia, but you know, it's felt like, well, why hasn't she got a Wikipedia page? I felt like setting one up, because the thing is, victims always need to be remembered. That's the important thing. Every victim's story is important. And yes, some victim stories resonate more to some people than others. You know, we get like viral stories, don't we, that everybody seems to be interested in. And others are maybe more, I don't know what makes a story viral and what makes a story not viral, if you like. But Sarah's story has been talked about a lot. But it did surprise me that there wasn't not as much information on what happens to Sarah online as maybe there are about other cases. Hi, Admit. So now, it's a sad story, of course, so I just want to obviously let you know that all true crime stories are sad. For me, this is one of the saddest stories that I've ever heard, because of the absolute betrayal that is involved in this case. I mean, I suppose anybody who's killed by somebody who's supposed to love them, whatever way, shape or form it is, but this one, it's well, you'll see as I get into it. You know, sometimes we're talking about somebody who's killed by their husband or their wife, or somebody, sometimes it's been like in a fit of anger, or sometimes it's been like a revenge killing, you know, and although they're not excuses for doing something horrible to somebody, they're reasons, at least, I suppose. They're a reason. But in this case, as you come to listen to the reasons and the sort of the people responsible, it's just unbelievable that this could happen, because, you know, even though it's horrible when a spouse, you know, kills their spouse because for whatever reason they don't want to go through a divorce, so they decide to, you know, kill them instead. Or I don't know, there's some sort of, you can see some sort of logic in it. You don't really understand why they didn't just divorce them, but this is different, and you'll see as we come on to it. So as I say, this case, it has haunted me for years, you know. And in the world of true crime, there are always cases that haunt you more than others, and this for me is one. So ever since I ever heard of this case about Sarah, she swirled around inside my head. It's very hard to explain now. That this quite often happens to me with victims. It's almost like they're inside my head. I even dream about them or whatever until maybe I've actually done a video, and then it's almost like they're asking me to do it. It's, you know, I mean, you might think that's totally ridiculous. Well, that's fine, but that's just the way it is. So yeah, although other cases are more high profile, Sarah's case to me is just breathtaking. It's breathtaking in the utter betrayal that this girl was subjected to. 19 years old. Sarah was 19 years old when she was taken from this planet. And, Sarah was a positive, as always. How often does that happen? These girls or men or whatever, it always seems to be these nice people, the people that we need more of on the planet, that get removed from the planet. And then these twonks who are left behind, the ones who do it, they're on the planet for a lot longer, aren't they? Hopefully we get justice for the people that have been taken away, and the other twonks they're put in prison or whatever. But they're still here. They're still breathing in the air, and these positive lights in the world have been extinguished. It's awful, isn't it? And the thing is, this story is breathtaking, and I hope it does take your breath away. I mean, not literally, but it should take your breath away. It should make you outraged. So cold-blooded. The cold-blooded psychopath who took this woman away, took this young girl away from the bright future that she deserved. And to be honest, her father deserved, but also the world deserved. The other reason I'm making this video, and I hope that people will carry on talking about Sarah, is because this psychopath and his accomplice, in my opinion, should never be released, neither of them. Anyway, they keep trying though, they keep appealing and they keep trying. Anyway, this all happened in December 2016. So it's coming up to this year, it's 9 years. This December, it'll be a 9-year anniversary, if we can call it that. 2016. So yeah, 2026 will be 10 years. And on that date, Sarah's promising life was extinguished by somebody she trusted more than anybody else. And this is what makes it breathtaking for me. Sarah trusted this person with her life, literally trusted her with her life. Now, let's have a look. Let me just put a picture of Sarah up. I mean, I've got quite a lot of pictures of her. What picture am I going to put up while we're just talking about it? So yeah, this is Sarah, only 19 years old. And on that December the 2nd, it was just like any other day, supposedly, for Sarah. And not only was her life extinguished by someone she trusted more than anybody else, but it was a premeditated act. Premeditated. It was callous. It was motivated by financial gain. And even worse than that, it was timed on a stopwatch. It was clinically done as if it was a hit or something. But it was done by somebody who cared about Sarah, supposedly. Someone who Sarah had known since she was 6 years old. This was one of her very best friends from when she was 6 years old that took Sarah's life. And then not only that, they covered it up by even trying to blame it on her father. They tried to make out she was mentally unstable. They tried to make out she might have run away to Canada. They tried to make out she might have took her own life. So, okay, let's see where this happened. So, it actually happened in Jersey, in America. Let's go to Jersey. I don't know, New Jersey, I don't know anything about that area. I think it's not, let's see, where are we? So it was Neptune City in Jersey Shore. Let's have a look on Google. So we can see on the Google map, so it's not far from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Washington, not far from Maryland. Maryland we've been to with the Rachel Marine case. So this is where we are, Jersey Shore. Now, I did prepare some information about Jersey Shore. Let's see if I can find it. Now, what it's famous for, Jersey Shore, I mean, it's a beautiful place apparently, but also it's quite artistic. You know, it's got a very strong artistic culture. And this is something that is appropriate for Sarah, because Sarah herself was a budding actress. So let's see what, sorry, not actress, artist. So Neptune City is a borough in Monmouth County in the US state of New Jersey. And its population in 2020 was only 4,626. That's not many people, is it? In a place, is it? So Neptune City, where this horrible event took place, let's see, what's some of the things you should know about Neptune City? Yeah. 7 amazing things you should know about Neptune City, which apparently is a little known gem in the state of New Jersey, in between Asbury Park and Bradley Beach, and it offers a unique combination of coastal charm, historical significance, and modern amenities. It's more than just a beach town. It's a place where the past and present converge, giving something special to all residents and guests. And some people want to visit the city's unspoiled coastlines, enjoy the various types of cuisine that are offered, or explore its landmarks. Now, amongst the things that, according to this article from The Drift, it's known for is its rich maritime history, vibrant arts and culture scene. And this is important because Sarah, as I say, was a budding artist. All she wanted to be was an artist. It's also got beautiful beaches, outdoor activities, culinary delights, various and tasteful dining, family-friendly attractions, etc., community spirit and events. You know, it's not a high crime place. Do you know what I mean? It's a small town, really. When you think about the population was quite small, wasn't it? So, you know, when this happened, it was a big story in this place, in Neptune City, when Sarah Stern disappeared one day, just like that, poof, into a puff of smoke, you know, disappeared into thin air. We know people don't disappear into thin air, do they? You know, something happens to them. So it was a mystery. It's like, where is Sarah? You know, there was no reason that, I mean, Sarah had a difficult childhood for the simple reason her mum died. I've got a picture of her with her mum somewhere. Let's have a look. Let me put that down. Sarah's mum died when she was quite young of that horrible thing called cancer. So Sarah, mum was only 56, I think. Let's have a look at a picture of her with her mum. So yeah, she had quite a sad childhood in that sense, but she had a strong bond, apparently, with her father. So although she lost her mum when she was quite young, that's a picture of Sarah with her mum. So sad that, you know, when someone loses the mum at a young age, you know, it's awful. I've got some details, I think, somewhere about her mum. So her mum was called Carla, Carla Tinelli Stern. Do you know, I was thinking about her mum. I mean, I hope Sarah's with her mum now. But her mum must have been fuming. You know, if you are up there, sort of, you know, if we do get to be up there and sort of watch what's going on the earth, could you imagine how angry she would have been? I hope she's haunting this person that took Sarah off this earth. I bloody hope so. I hope she's haunting him. Because can you imagine how angry Sarah's mum would have been about what this person did to her? So this was Sarah's mum. Oh my goodness, she was born on the 13th of September 1956 and she died on the 4th of February 2013, aged 56. Gosh, there's some number coincidences there, isn't there? Anyway, yeah, cancer. But Sarah's father, she kept a strong bond with her father. And also Sarah's mum, Carla, left her a certain amount of money. And do you know what? They say money is the root of all evil. And, you know, I think obviously Carla, if only she knew what problems that money was going to cause for her daughter. In fact, so many problems that it actually resulted in her death, really, because the reason for Sarah being removed from this earth really was all financial. And when you hear what the perpetrator had to say about it all, you're going to be angry. So I expect Carla somewhere in another plane. Hopefully she's with Sarah now, but she'll be fuming. I hope she's haunting this guy. I really do. I certainly would. If I could possibly do it, I would definitely be haunting them. Hi, Daniel. Okay, so I've got, do you know how many windows I've got open for this case? Oh, I'm trying to turn the wrong thing off here. Hang on. Stop sharing. So, yeah, so Sarah's mum died, but she left her some money. Sarah really just wanted to be an artist. That's what she wanted to do. Let's have a look at a couple of other pictures of her. I want people to see Sarah. You know, she was a beautiful girl. To all intents and purposes, again, she was beautiful inside and outside. And her interests, you know, were art. She was kind to her friends. Her friends loved her. She was fun to be around. You know, she was all those things that 19-year-olds often are. So, as I say, one day she just disappeared. So the police were called. She was reported as a missing person. The police were called and they went off to try and trace Sarah's last movements. So it turned out that the last person who'd been with Sarah on the day that she disappeared. Oh, let me explain to you how it came out that she was found that she was missing. Her car was found on a bridge. So let's see about that. Or did that happen after she was reported missing? Let me just, I've got too many windows open. Trouble is, you find all the things about what you're researching and you're trying to decide what's important, what's not important. It's all important. So then you have to decide, oh, here, let's look at this video first. Sarah's car was found on a bridge. So there was some consternation that maybe Sarah parked up her car on the bridge and jumped over and deleted herself. Now, she wouldn't be the first young girl to do it, first young man, young woman, young person. She wouldn't be the first person to do it off a bridge, would she? So it wasn't beyond the realms of possibility that she would do that. It was an Uber driver that reported seeing her car, though he didn't know it was her car at the time, seeing a car parked on the bridge, phoned the police and said, so I will have to keep stopping these videos because I'm not sure if they're going to try and get me for copyright or not. But yeah, so basically, this is almost where it all started. This taxi driver, I think he was a taxi driver, said there's a car that's abandoned off to the side of the road. I'm not sure that it's an emergency. It's an unusual place, isn't it, for a car to be just stopped on a bridge? You know, that's very unusual. So that was very good of him, very public spirited of him, because, you know, at the end of the day, you could just drive past, but he didn't. He reported it, and good that he did. So I think at first, you know, if you were driving past that at night, you think, oh, wonder what they're doing there. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I've driven past a lot of cars that are stopped at the side of the road. I always do try and look. I mean, if I saw like, I mean, late at night, I would never stop because I know sometimes that's like, you know, traps that people lay, isn't it? You know, the car, there's somebody, you know, you've got to be careful. I would never stop, but I would phone it in. So what I would do is stop as soon as I could after it and maybe phone the police and say, look, you know, something funny going on there. You know, I think as a woman on my own, if I was on my own, of course, depends who you're with, you'd be very reluctant to actually stop and investigate because in night it'd be scary, wouldn't it? But you would report it. Anyway, let me know what you do. I think most people would do that. Now, so let me tell you what happened when they tried to find out whose car it was. It wasn't registered in Sarah's name. It was registered in her granny's name. And her granny was 96 years old at the time or something like that. But she used to let Sarah drive it. You know, obviously she didn't drive. It was an old car. So Sarah had, she didn't have the title to it, but she had the permission to drive it whenever she wanted. So they traced it back to this granny. They realised it wouldn't have been her who would have been driving the car. She then said, oh yeah, I let my granddaughter drive that car. And that, you know, where was Sarah? That was the burning question, the, you know, $3 million question. Where was Sarah? And if she had done something to herself, she hadn't left any notes or anything. She, you know, there was no clue. Now, had she expressed, you know, depression? Was she suffering from depression? Well, that seemed to be a moot point between friends and family. You know, so most people would say no, they didn't think she would have done anything like that. And then, and she also left a dog behind. And then somebody else, one of her friends, said yes, she was suffering from depression and she was talking about running away. So who do we believe? Now we come to meet one of her best friend. We're going to talk now, we're going to see a little bit about this Liam guy, her very best friend, a twin. He's a twin, but he and his brother and his other friends, they were all, oh no. I don't know if you can still hear me, but, oh, they don't like it. It's copyright. Am I still on? Can you still hear me? YouTube have just flagged me up for copyright. I've turned it off. It might come back now. Right, I'm going to go to another video. Can you hear me now? You can't hear or see anything. Let's see if I can get it back. Oh.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
What about now? Am I back? Am I back? All right, let me see. Right, I should be back now. Ah, I'm back now. Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, I got an email from YouTube telling me copyright. So, but if I stop choosing, so I'm going to show you another video now. Anyway, actually, I'm going to tell you the story now of what happened. So the police then went to see her best friend, Liam, who apparently was the last person to see Sarah before she mysteriously disappeared. So what we're going to have a look at now is that video. So hopefully it'll be back. Honestly, this is what YouTube are like. I mean, do you know, like what? Anyway, never mind. It's pointless. It's pointless arguing with YouTube because, you know, they decide you're trying to use something for fair use. Anyway, never mind. Okay, so let's have a look at this video. Now, let me tell you what happened, and I'm going to show you the interrogation videos as well. I've got too many videos here, to be honest. I've got so many videos set up to watch it, for us to watch, if we're allowed to. Let me have a look. What I want now is the interrogation video. But when the police first went to see Liam, they didn't make a very good job of asking him questions, really. But when they called him in to be interviewed again, I think they did make a better job. Oh, God, everything's just gone wrong. Right, let's see. Sorry. This is what happens. The more organised I am, I have everything ready. It's worse. It's better if I just do it spontaneously, because sometimes I think I can be too prepared. It's just not coming up with the police interview. Oh, here it is, hopefully. Well, this is some YouTuber. Okay, so they finally brought her friend Liam in to be interviewed, and that's what we're going to watch here.
That's what I've always thought.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Never hooked up with her or anything like that?
No, nothing like that.
Do you know her ever to date anybody before?
No.
So
actually,
I won't be able to play all of this because this is another YouTuber's video. Well, it's not a YouTuber's video, it's the police video, but some other YouTubers found it. Now, the thing is, when Liam was brought in to be interrogated by the police, it's a horrible interview because he spends the whole time saying how Sarah was depressed. She was probably a lesbian. I mean, maybe she was a lesbian, not that that's got anything to do with it. She was obsessed with his ex-girlfriend. She was always arguing with her dad, and he thought that her and her dad had a terrible relationship. He said, what else did he say? Oh, he said that she was always talking about running away to Canada. She talked about taking her own life. You know, you name it, what he could say bad about her, he said. He said everything you can imagine that was bad about Sarah. And let's just have a little bit, but you can see that the police are aware of it, I think.
It's weird.
This guy here in the left-hand corner, he seems to me that he is suspicious. I think they both were suspicious of him. The way he was answering questions that he wasn't even asked. You know, he was volunteering information that he wasn't even asked.
Seems really like immature, you know, like she's not interested in that kind of stuff. She's more interested in playing video games or something like that. I don't know.
Does she talk about guys?
No, she actually gets grossed out. She doesn't. Most of her girlfriends have kind of left her over the years.
See, most of her girlfriends have left her over the years. She doesn't talk about guys. She gets grossed out. He said that she was really into YouTube. She'd started YouTubing. And he said most of the YouTubers that she followed were lesbians. You know, he had one bad thing after another to say about Sarah, you know. He was just horrible through the whole interview. And not only about Sarah, and actually looking at his eyes there, look at those eyes. Anyway, not only horrible things he was saying about Sarah, but her dad. So he was trying to almost insinuate that her dad had done something to her, and her dad was miles away in Florida, apart from the fact that her and her dad actually had a good relationship.
After everything that she went through with her mom, and she's continued to go through with her dad, and it's just been kind of like the boys hanging out with her. And if we were to bring up anything about sex, she's always grossed out.
When you say grossed out, what do you mean?
Like repulsed, like, oh, don't say that, oh, it's gross. Just anything about sex in general.
And your conversations about sex would be in what context, like?
Just joking around, you know.
Okay. Make just comments or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Does she ever talk about liking guys or?
Not that I know of.
Girls?
No. She has been known to obsess over girls in the past, though. One of my ex-girlfriends, a few years ago, she was completely obsessed with her right around the time her mom had cancer and was dying. And she just...
Anyway, you get the picture, I think. You know, as I say, I can't show too much of this because this is from another YouTuber's channel. But so, they had Liam in, and then Liam lived with another young man called Preston, and they were like flatmates, housemates. And Preston was also a friend of Sarah's. And in fact, Preston at some point had, let me show you a picture of Preston, because she went to the prom with Preston. Oh, I don't think I've got that picture here. But anyway, the year before, she had gone to the prom with the other guy, Preston. So these are the two guys, the two friends of Sarah's that were interviewed by the police. On the left, you've got her best friend who'd seen her, who admitted that he'd seen her on the last, he seemed to be the last person to have seen her. And on the right-hand side, you've got his housemate, Preston, who was also brought in to be interviewed. And let's have a look at a bit of his interview. Oh. Oh, it's the same YouTubers. So if you have a little look at Preston. Let me move it forward a bit. It's very quiet, isn't it? You can't hear what he's saying very well. But let me just give you a précis of what he's saying. So he's very similar, speaks very similar to Liam, you know, about Sarah's quite down on her, you know. The thing is, it was they used to call themselves the Squad. This group of friends, they were such close friends. They'd been friends since they were 6 years old. And although apparently it wasn't like an sex relationship, even though he'd taken her to the prom the year before, it wasn't, you know, Sarah was a bit of a, you know, I think Sarah was just a free spirit. I don't necessarily think that she was gay. But maybe she was bisexual. Whom it doesn't matter what she was. Maybe she just liked being on her own. People don't seem to be able to accept. Some people just don't want a relationship. I don't know what relationship she'd had, if there'd been bad experiences, good experiences. But she seemed to be just so happy in her friendships. She had male friends, she had female friends. She didn't need a man to validate her. Do you know what I mean? She didn't need a boyfriend. She was just doing her own thing. She enjoyed art. She said she was a free spirit. You know, sometimes people can't cope with people like that because, you know, they think that as a woman, you're only, you know, your only objective in life is to find a man, you know, to make you complete, or vice versa. Some people are loners. Some people don't need other people. I feel that Sarah was that. She was a free spirit. Maybe eventually she would have decided which way she was going to go sexually or whatever, or maybe she wouldn't. Maybe she would have been fluid all her life and she wasn't given a chance to explore that side of things. Maybe she had some sexual relationship with these men. You know, we don't know. They're not going to tell us that, are they? You know, it's possible that maybe she experimented. I would imagine at 19 she's having some sort of experimenting with sex, but maybe not. Maybe she just wasn't interested. You know, everybody's different, aren't they? But what is certainly true is these three called themselves the Squad. They were friends, you know, supposedly, but literally, you know, with friends like that, who does need enemies? Let's have a look, see if we can hear him a bit better.
God forbid somebody in their family was missing. Would you want us talking to friends and family of anyone? Yes, of course. So.
But look at his demeanour.
The way we're going to find.
He doesn't give a toss, does he? He's just like, he's not interested. He's got no emotion. You know, their best friend has disappeared and may have thrown herself off a bridge. To all intents and purposes, that's what it looks like might have happened. And he's just got no emotion whatsoever. No emotion whatsoever. I mean, that's, you know, these police, I think this, I'll say, look at him with his arms folded. They know. The police knew, these detectives knew that there was something strange going on. But of course, knowing that something strange is going on is not a reason to arrest someone, of course. Now, let me just stop sharing that. Oh, now I've disappeared. Where have I gone? Where's my picture now? It's just... So, this is where we were at, basically. The police had investigated. They'd called in these two friends for questioning. I think the police were suspicious, but they had no evidence. Remember that evidence, the evidence that we need. And, you know, if the police haven't got evidence, they can't do anything. You know, although they get hunches and they get feelings, you can't arrest someone on the basis of a hunch or a feeling. You know, it's got to be for some, you know, they've got to have some evidence. So that's when something amazing happened. So although I think this story is a story of, you know, betrayal, terrible betrayal, then along came this guy. And he was another one of the friends like that gone to school with Sarah. And he is a filmmaker. He was a filmmaker. And let me just find his interview. Oh, I've got just too many bloody windows open. I can't find anything. Anyway, this guy is called Mr. Curry. I can't remember what his first name's called. Anthony. So this is Anthony Curry, and he's a former classmate of all three of them. So the two guys and Sarah, he was a former classmate of theirs at the high school. And he went, when he heard about what had happened to Sarah, or, you know, heard that Sarah had disappeared and nobody knew what had happened to her, this young man went to the police and did the right thing. So although this is a story of betrayal, it's also a story of somebody coming forward and doing the right thing. So there's always a yin and yang, isn't there? There's always somebody doing the right thing, somebody doing the wrong thing. And whenever, you know, all this negativity that sometimes you think of in the world, there's always somebody out there that at least restores your faith in human nature. Because at the end of the day, this guy, he didn't have to come forward. You know, he's only a young guy as well. And he, you know, he came forward, even though, you know, he was involving himself in something that, you know, he didn't really know. He didn't know exactly what had happened, but he felt suspicious because on that Thanksgiving in 2017, so this was January 2017, in the previous Thanksgiving, he'd had a conversation with McCatsony, and he had told him, so Sarah's best friend had told Anthony Curry that Sarah had found a large sum of money in a house that her family owned. And he actually then told Anthony Curry he had a plan to kill her for it. So this was in the, you know, this was before, when's Thanksgiving? Is it October, November sometime? So before he actually killed Sarah, he had planned it. because she had said that she'd found this money and he wanted this money. So despite this girl being somebody that he'd known since he was 6 years old, and they were the closest of friends, you know, the very day that he killed her, they'd been out for dinner together. You know, they spent time together, they hung out together. They weren't just casual friends, they were best friends. And he told this Anthony Curry that he was planning to choke her and then take her body in her car to the Route 35 bridge to dispose of it. And let me just actually share this that I'm showing here. So this is him in court as he was giving his evidence. But he said that his roommate, Preston Taylor, the other guy, who was Sarah's junior prom date, would drive to the bridge in an escape car, and they would leave Sarah's car on the span to make it look like she had deleted herself. So here again, we have these criminal masterminds, or so they think they are, who then are talking about it. Why did he, if Liam would not have told Anthony Curry about this, he had to talk about it. He wanted to brag about it. Do you know what I mean? Because if he hadn't told Anthony about it, he may never have been caught, but he just couldn't keep his mouth shut, you know, because he's a sociopath, an idiot. But, you know, thank God he did. So luckily, Anthony, although, you know, really he could have just walked away and not said anything, he went to the police and told them about this conversation. So the police asked Anthony, was he prepared to go and see Liam wearing a tape recorder, you know, a recording device? And Anthony agreed. Now, because by this time, Anthony Curry had moved to Brooklyn after high school, and he'd started a career as a horror filmmaker, believe it or not. He told detectives at first he didn't take this conversation seriously, but then afterwards, so he told, don't forget that Liam told Anthony this plan before they actually did it. He told him before Sarah disappeared. So it was only after, and he didn't, you know, young people, I don't know, sat there smoking weed or whatever, talking crap, and it probably didn't take him seriously what he was saying. But he was serious. So it was when Sarah disappeared that Anthony realised that what Liam had told him was probably what he ended up doing. So he did agree to arrange a meeting with Liam and secretly record the conversation about what happened to Sarah. And the day after that meeting took place, Liam was arrested and charged with murder, felony murder, robbery, desecrating human remains and other crimes. And Taylor was arrested the same day, February the 1st, 2007, and charged in a conspiracy to desecrate Sarah Sturt's remains. So what we're going to listen to now is the confession that Anthony Curry recorded for the police. So here we are. When I find it. Too many windows. Right, actually, I can put a few windows down now. I can put a few windows down. Oh, too many windows. Where's his confession tape? Okay, I'm going to have to find it again. I had all these set up, they've all disappeared.
I choke her out, drag her. I pretty much hung her. Yeah, I got the FBI on my ass, dude.
What are they questioning?
Oh yeah, a lot.
About what?
About killing Sarah. Because I thought I was walking out 50 grand, 100 grand in my pocket. She goes to walk out the front door. I choke her out, drag her. I pretty much hung her. Like, I picked her up and had her just like dangling off the ground. And it took me a half an hour to kill her.
Now, that's a short version. Probably all you want to see is the short version. But the other thing that was so horrible, particularly about this case, is he actually timed it. He set a stopwatch and timed how long it took him to kill her. And it took him 30 minutes. And he does go on to talk about that. So when he confessed to killing her, that was it. You know, obviously, once the police had that confession on tape or on a recording, they could arrest him. And he was eventually, him and Preston were charged. He was charged with murder. Preston did not commit the murder. But having said that, let's have a look what Preston did.
Going to work, right?
Yep. It's still daylight.
Okay. Did he have you go to her house and move her before he got home from work? I see you're shaking your head. What does that mean?
Yes.
Okay. What did he ask
Yeah,
you?
mainly he wanted me to look for his phone because he dropped it.
He dropped his what?
His phone.
His phone, okay.
Where he,
So it turns out that what happened was Liam killed Sarah callously, like that. And off he went to work then. He killed her in her own home, put her in the closet with like a washroom type thing. Off he went, contacted his mate Preston, asked Preston to go and pick up the body and hide her. So he went to the home. He took her body out into the garden, hid her in the bushes. Liam went off to work as if, you know, nothing had happened, so that he had an alibi. And the next day, that's when they set about disposing of Sarah's body, and they took Sarah's body to the bridge and threw her off the bridge. You know, just foul what they did. And then they set about trying to claim that Sarah either had done something to herself or her father had done something. I think that's just the worst thing, isn't it? You know, to try, oh, maybe that's where anyway, never mind. So I think the worst thing is that they did, personally, I think, was what they did to try and make it look as if her father had done it. You know, I mean, for goodness sake. You know, so anyway, right, I've lost track again now what I'm doing. I think I'm going to have to turn that one off. Oh, I've gone again, have I? Sorry. So anyway, Mr. Curry at least did the right thing, didn't he? He did the right thing. Thank goodness for that, because if he hadn't have done that. So this was Preston Taylor at the actual trial. He was found guilty and he was sentenced. So by the time he came to trial, Preston was 22 years old and he pled guilty in the end. Oh, because what Liam didn't realise, Liam still denied doing anything to Sarah, but Preston sang like a canary. From the minute the police got him in and told him about that tape recording they had, he just folded and admitted everything. So Liam was just hung out to dry then. Liam, he didn't have a leg to stand on because Preston just pled guilty. And that's probably why in the end Preston got quite, I think, a short sentence, because he got 18 years. He was found guilty. Well, he wasn't found guilty, he pled guilty to robbery, desecrating human remains, conspiracy to commit the crimes, and hindering his and Mekatasny's apprehension. He admitted helping his roommate dump Sarah's body off the bridge for a $3,000 cut of the $10,000 robbery proceeds. So you on the video you hear Liam complaining about the amount of money. He thought there was much more money, and anyway, according to him, he only got $10,000. He was very angry about that. He wasn't bothered that he just murdered his best friend. He was more angry that he only got $10,000, and then he gave $3,000 of that to Preston Taylor. So Preston Taylor was sentenced to 18 years. And he would have to serve a minimum of 13. And Liam, he was sentenced to life without parole, plus another 10 years for desecrating a corpse. But of course, they both appealed. The thing is, they weren't happy with that. They wouldn't just accept their sentence. Like, personally, I think they should have done, but they didn't. They didn't just do that, of course. Now, I want to show you. There's here. Anyway, never mind. Nope, can't find that one. All the videos have gone crazy. Let's see if I can watch this one. Now, when it came to... Hey, get down. When it came to Preston's sentencing, the complete. Now, to be fair, Preston didn't actually murder Sarah, but he might as well have done. He knew what Liam was planning. He knew he was planning to do it, and then afterwards he went and helped him dispose of the body. I don't see why he got any. I know he pled guilty, and he's obviously term witness, etc. But he still should have got the same sentence to me as Liam got. But anyway. So when it came to his sentencing and he stood up, of course, Sarah's dad did a victim impact statement, which was very, very moving. And then he stood up to make his statement, and Sarah's dad walked out of the courtroom. He didn't want to hear him. He said afterwards, I don't want to hear anything he's got to say, because, he had the chance to stop this ever happening in the first place, and he didn't. And he helped 3 times. He moved Sarah's body 3 times, so he had every opportunity to either stop it happening in the first place, or once it had happened, he had every opportunity to go to the police. And as a consequence of him helping Liam move the body and tip her over the bridge, Sarah to this day and never will be found, because that is a fast-flowing river that goes out to the sea. So Sarah was never found. Her father's not been able to bring her home, bury her remains with respect. She went into the water and she was never found, bless her. And that's because of this man. as well, just as much as it is Liam. So he literally got away with murder, I think. He may not have killed her, done the actual act, but he may as well have done. So look, they just get up and walk out. They don't want to hear him. Now, notice he says to his own family, what I want to say to my own family is, I love you, blah, de, blah, de, blah. Because his family did support him through it. Both of these boys were supported from their families. And Liam's mum is one of those denial mums. She can't even accept that he even did it, even though, you know, this guy has said, yeah, he did do it, even though he confessed it to the other guy. Liam's mom is still saying he didn't do it. I mean, you know, this is the strength of denial, isn't it? It's the absolute strength of denial. Now, while I was watching this video, I sort of fell in love a little bit with this. You know, obviously he's a lot younger than me, but I don't mean that. But look at the way he's looking at this guy. You know, he's listening to him talking, and you can see the total contempt in his face. And, you know, it must be difficult when you're being, you know, these detectives in court or whatever. You've got to be impassive. You're not supposed to, you know, get emotional. But this guy, the way he is looking at this, sorry, I'm just pouring myself a drink. The way he's looking at this guy, the total contempt in his face, I just thought, good for you. You can just see it. It's like looking at it, because this guy doesn't mean what he's saying. He's only trying to get a lighter sentence. He didn't care about Sarah at all. You know, as I say, he knew for ages that Liam was going to do this, that he was going to kill Sarah. He was Sarah's friend too. He'd taken her to the prom the year before. And now here he is trying to talk some absolute crap that he ever cared about or apologized to the family. And also he's reading all of it out of, you know, what he's written down. None of this is spontaneous coming from the heart. He's written it down. Probably his lawyer has written it from him. And just watching this policeman's face, honest to God, it just says what we all, you know, that look just says what we're all thinking. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, monotone. Brilliant, brilliant. He doesn't mean a word of it. I'm sorry. I don't feel any, you know, normally you get a feeling from someone when they mean what they're saying. And I think, and this girl, this woman, lady police woman as well, you can tell from her face, look at the two of them, their faces are saying everything we're thinking. Oh God, no sound. Can you hear me though? Right. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? All right. Okay. I need to do it again because I turned it off because I thought you couldn't hear it. Let's try again. No, it won't play now. Oh, there you go. Can you hear it now? Oh, right. There's no point in listening to it if you can't hear it, is there? So let me just turn that off. Everything's going wrong tonight. Okay, well, if you can't hear it, there's no point in playing it, is there? What the hell is going on? Nothing's working properly tonight somehow. Let me see this. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't know why you couldn't hear it. I could hear it fine. So I don't know why you couldn't hear it. Anyway, he got 18 years. He's got to serve 15 years minimum. Then he appealed against it. Let's try that. See if you can hear this. So fast forward a couple of years, and this is him. So, you'll see he looks a lot older. Don't think prison's really agreeing with him, but it doesn't agree with many people. So this is Preston when he did his...
Argued for 15. What Mr. Stern was communicating was probably well in excess of 20. I'm sure that's what he wants. I don't have to be a mind reader to figure that one.
So Sarah's father went along to the appeal, and there he is. I don't know if you'll be able to actually hear this video or not, but I think you can see it at least. And you'll see that Sarah's father went along to the appeal to try and hope that he didn't manage to get his sentence reduced. And he didn't.
But 20 at the very least, and I came up with a different number. So there was really sort of 4 numbers floating out there.
Months after being sentenced for his role in Sarah Stern's murder, Preston Taylor was back in Judge English's courtroom on Friday, where his attorney argued to reduce his 18-year prison term.
So if you're saying this crime alone, one thing where admittedly now he knows his mistake, he's rubes the day he did that. That alone is the basis for showing that he's going to commit another crime. I don't think there's a basis there, Judge. So I would ask Your Honor to reconsider that factor.
I think I said this at the time of sentencing, that this was a tough sentence, because we're not standing here, and ever we weren't standing here.
Yeah, it does look like, someone was just saying, looks a bit like Stephen Stearns. Yeah, he does now, doesn't he? He's definitely, I think there's only 3 years in between, maybe 5 years at the most, in between these 2 videos, but I would say he's really aged.
A couple months ago, arguing that he didn't cooperate. He certainly cooperated. I didn't argue at any point in time that his cooperation wasn't substantial or important to this case. It certainly was. He testified, Mr. McIntyre was convicted. There was other evidence, obviously, but he did cooperate from day one.
When you're talking about a sentence here in the grand scheme of what he could have been facing and what the plea agreement was, this sentence was within that plea agreement. In fact, Again, it's higher than what the prosecutor asked, but not in excess of the plea agreement. That's the range that I had to consider. And under all of the facts and circumstances as I've known this case for these years, I believe that that was a fair sentence within the interest of justice. And so I'm going to deny the motion for reconsideration.
And with that, Preston Taylor returned to state prison. For the Asbury Park Press in Freehold, I'm Andrew Goucher.
Yeah, do you know, and I think it's difficult for the families. I know you wouldn't want to believe that your son had done that, but he's admitted to it. This one, he's admitted to it. He's confessed to it. You know, just awful. But anyway, so let's not forget he's the accomplice. We need to have a look now at the other one, the main person who did this, because Preston, although it's horrible what he did, he is the accomplice. He's not the actual one who committed the murder. He's not the worst one. But in some ways, I think he is the worst one. And I think he's the worst one because Liam is a psychopath, sociopath, something. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Preston, he went along with it just for 3,000 bucks. Like, you know, and he's not the psychopath, if you see what I'm saying. Liam's a psychopath, so you know, what can you expect of a psychopath? But whereas the other friend, of course, who came along, the horror filmmaker, he came along, he really put himself in danger by going along talking to Liam, getting him to confess on recording, so that he's like the hero, isn't he? Because at the end of the day, he was dealing with a murderer. He knew he was dealing with a murderer, so he did put his life in danger. What did Preston do? Sweet F.A. did nothing. He confessed immediately once he was arrested. But if he wouldn't have been arrested, he would never have confessed. So, you know, I think he's just as bad, if not worse, because he's supposedly not a bloody psychopath like the other one. So let's have a look at Liam. So he's the main one, I suppose. So this was him in court. Let's have a look to get, hopefully, will we get all the photos? Liam McAtasney. And he is a twin. He's the evil twin, isn't he? He is absolutely the evil twin. You know, God knows what his twin thought of him. Oh, but his mum, Liam's mum, to this day, does not think that Liam is guilty, even though he clearly is guilty. Let's have a look. Oops, sorry. I want to see. Yeah, let's have a look at him. So this is Carly Draper, who's Sarah's childhood friend, making her victim impact statement. Here's Liam here sat there. Of course, he looks all sad. He's all sad now because he's been caught. He couldn't give a shit really about Sarah.
Sarah Lisa, although you are not here with us where you should be, one thing I hope you know, dear reckless optimist, is that you'll always be with me.
Thank you.
Here's a
I'm
dad.
devastated and numb from shock. I've never felt so much overwhelming pain in my heart and my soul. My spirit was broken. I have to deal with never-ending closure because Sarah's body has never been recovered. The horrific act of what happened to Sarah's body will haunt me to this day and will haunt me forever. I will never be able to hug Sarah and tell her I love her.
All right, Mr. McAtasney, would you stand? Is there anything would you like to say before I sentence you? The defendant was found guilty of all 7 counts, including first-degree murder, and the jury also found the aggravating factors, which makes this a life without parole sentence. There is 870 days jail credit as of this date. Mr. McIntyre, you have 45 days from today's date to appeal your sentence if you so choose. You can get an additional 30 days for good cause shown if you missed the 45 days. And if you miss the additional 30 days, you could lose your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? Speak up.
Yes.
And you have 5 years from today's date to file a post-conviction relief motion if you so choose. Prosecutor, anything? Covered?
There's nothing to be dismissed.
Okay.
That was never posted.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Well, Liam received life sentence without parole and plus 10 years for desecration of a corpse. But he still went ahead and appealed it. Anyway, he was refused his appeal. And his mum is still saying he did not do it. I mean, I'm sorry. You know, I understand people loving their sons and things like that, and you can excuse them a lot of things. But do you know what? And you'd still love them no matter what. But you should not support them in the torture of families like that. I think, you know, you should not support your children in torturing families. You know, the thing is, he did what he did, and he's got to take the consequences. All he was really pissed off about was that he only got $10,000 out of it. And you know, I need to find that full interview with Curry. Oh, here it is, I think. Because when you watch the full interview, you'll get angry. Come on. Now, just to warn you, I don't know if they'll get me for copyright on this as well, but anyway, I'm going to play it. Oh, I'm not sharing it. Hang on. Ah, God, I'm not sharing. I've had a bit of a disaster tonight with these.
Guilty. Guilty.
Anthony Curry is an aspiring film director, and January 2017. He had started receiving...
They're definitely going to pull me up on this, so I just have to keep stopping it every now and again, but they'll probably take me off again.
Snapchat messages from Liam McIntyre.
How often was he trying to contact you when Sarah went missing?
Almost every day.
What was he texting you? What was he saying to you?
That he wanted to see me. That it was like urgent.
And at this moment, a light bulb went off in Anthony Curry's head.
Why?
So there you go. Why did you go to the police? He says, I wanted to do the right thing. Why didn't Preston do the right thing? You know, 3 times he moved Sarah's body and he helped Liam push her over the bridge. He knew what Liam was planning. Preston should be in prison for the rest of his life, as far as I'm concerned. This young man showed at least you can do the right thing, even though it's scary. You can do it.
Anthony doesn't really give it another thought until it comes up on social media or the news that she's missing.
So police hatch a plan to catch Liam McIntyre, and they cast Anthony Curry in the starring role.
My camera broke, dog. Dropped it on the shoot. It fell into a bucket of blood. You couldn't like spot me some cash from that girl's money, right?
Maybe.
Like,
How much do you need?
You need like two. I mean, I would pay you back after all these jobs work out.
I don't think I could do that. We need to talk about that too.
Do you have like anything left from it or nah?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it right now.
So they're talking about this money on, again, he's thick, really, isn't he, the guy? I mean, luckily he's thick. But why is he, he's putting this down in messages, talking about the money he got from murdering someone. Now, the other thing was this money that he did find, it was really, he said there, it's low quality, because what he means by that is it's low quality because it was like, like it'd been hidden in a box for years, and he wasn't even sure if he could take it to the bank or not. And of course, he only had 7,000 left because he'd given 3,000, was it, to the other guy.
Everyone's got to be nervous about this meeting.
Detectives equip his car with a video recording device.
And it took me a half an hour to kill her. I thought I was going to be able to choke her out and have her out in like a couple minutes.
So you don't believe somebody would do something like that, so it's heartbreaking in a sense. Somebody who's your good friend, you don't think they would do something like that as an innocent person.
Anyway, so yeah.
Hi everyone, George Steph.
I think that's the last video I've got to see you. I think. Hang on. No, I've got one more video to show you, if it'll show. Yeah, good on him. At least he did the right thing. It does. You think, at least someone did the right thing in this. I mean, do you know what I think is? I think teenagers, they're so consumed with themselves. They go through very dark periods, don't they, teenagers? Because they don't really think, just the fact of being a teenager, everything is, they talk about narcissism. I think all teenagers are narcissistic. By nature, being a teenager is narcissism personified. It's all about them. It's all it's not their fault. It's all about the fact they're going through puberty and hormones, and they can't see consequences. Their brains aren't developed properly, and everything's. We've all been teenagers, and we've all done selfish things when we were teenagers that maybe we look at now. Years later, especially if we've had teenagers of our own and seen it from the other side, we think, oh God, I did this or I said that or whatever. I'm not talking about murder. I'm talking about just, things that teenagers do. They don't tell the parents everything, do they? They're disrespectful to the parents. They don't appreciate people. That's how teenagers are, but there is a darkness to teenagers, because how many times have we looked at crimes, and it's startling, isn't it, to see how young people can be when they do these breathtaking crimes. And this, again, there's poor Sarah, 19 years old, but they weren't any older than her. They were all in the same year at school. They were just kids as well, on the brink of their lives. They've lost their lives as well, haven't they? Their lives, I mean, all right, they're still alive and they're being looked after in prison and this, that, and the other, but, they've lost their potential. And the only one who came out of it with any decency whatsoever was Anthony, who at least went to the police in the end. He probably should have gone to the police in the beginning, but you can see that he wouldn't think that, you wouldn't believe that somebody would do that. You wouldn't take it seriously, would you, in the beginning, probably?
The accomplice who confessed to helping dump the body of murdered New Jersey teenager Sarah Stern, sentenced to 18 years in prison. 22-year-old Preston Taylor testified in 2016 he and Leah McAtasney plotted to kill Stern and steal her inheritance. McAtasney is now serving life in prison for strangling Stern inside her Neptune City home. Taylor admitted he helped McAtasney throw Stern's body from a Belmar Bridge. Today, as Taylor stood to address the courtroom, Stern's father walked out.
I don't want to hear anything from him.
He had the opportunity. He had many opportunities. The judge even said that. He had an opportunity to stop it. He had the opportunity not to participate.
Stern's father says it's difficult to know that Sarah's body has not been found and she cannot rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. She won't be found now. Well, how can she be found now? She'll never be found now. Okay. No, I think, admit, it wasn't. I don't think he was. I don't know how he could have got his hands on her inheritance. He was probably hoping to get the money out of the bank, but the thing that did it for him when he decided to do this terrible thing was because he heard about this money that she'd found in a box, but he thought there was a lot more money in there, I think. He does say it in the video, if I can find the bloody video where he... So this was him. Where's the video of him confessing? It's not there. Let me see. I'll see if I can find it. I'll just show this video first of all.
Courtroom. 21-year-old Liam McIntyre, a father, came face to face with his daughter's killer in a New Jersey courtroom. 21-year-old Liam McIntyre was sentenced in a Monmouth County courtroom to life without parole. This after a jury found him guilty of murdering his high school classmate, Sarah Stern, and then throwing her body off of a bridge back in 2016. Her father choked back tears as he shared the impact that his daughter's murder has had on his life.
You know, and it wasn't only that he killed her and that took her, you know, he tried to make it look as if it was the father who did it. If you find his whole interviews, which do go on for hours, that's why I can't show them on here, he literally tried to insinuate that she had a bad relationship with her father and tried to make it look as if he did it. Or, you know, he was responsible for her disappearance.
The day the detectives informed me Sarah was murdered, it was overwhelming. In a chilling, secretly recorded video, McIntyre admitted to the murder. His accomplice, who confessed to dumping the body, he will be sentenced next week.
I'm going to try one more time, see if I can find the full video of him confessing.
Our darkest days in the battle against COVID are ahead of us, not behind us. It's called the COVID.
Oh, here it is. Now, this is off a YouTube channel called Monsters. It's a good YouTube channel, actually. I quite like watching it. Let's see. Hang on. But this has got his full confession. So this is going to be the full conversation.
Really? Yeah. I tripped for like 2 months straight. What were you doing? Sitting around. What you been up to?
Okay, can you hear it okay?
We cannot handle that.
What? I'm not watching that. What?
Real quick, alright? You good? No disrespect. I'll show you. No disrespect, okay? Nothing. Yeah, I got the FBI on my ass, dude. What are they questioning? Oh, yeah, a lot. About what?
Do you know, this guy, all these upset. So bear in mind, this guy, his mum thinks he didn't do it. She thinks he was just talking about a film script. So this guy is so annoyed that he didn't get the money that he thought he was going to get, and the money that he did get is in such bad quality. That is all he cares about. He doesn't care that he's just murdered his friend, his best friend, that he's known since he was 6 years old. Doesn't care. He even says he doesn't care. You say that in a minute. He says he doesn't feel bad about it.
I don't even know if I can put any of it in the fucking bank.
Right, because it'll probably look sketchy, right?
Look sketchy, and it'll look like it's Sarah's money, especially if it's a federal investigation.
Right.
If they're looking for the guy who has the fucking old money.
Right, because it's probably like the old dollar bills and shit. It's not like the new shit, because the $100 bills are changed now.
Exactly. No, it's from the 80s, dude. It's old. And then...
What, she found it in her house or something?
Huh?
She found it in her house?
Yeah. Spent a lot of money. And I didn't even get a quarter of it.
So you only got like, what, seven grand or something?
Somewhere around.
I didn't even get a quarter of it. Oh my God, he's so horrible, this boy. Honest to God, I'm sorry. I don't care if he was my child or not. You hear him talking like, oh, I didn't even get a quarter of it. Oh, come on. His best friend is dead.
Around there.
And you spent it all?
No, I haven't even tried to do anything with it because it's in such bad shape.
Yeah, you can't even use it.
Like, I need to lay low and then maybe, like, tape some shit up and see if I can put it in the bank.
So what, do you have it hidden?
Yeah.
Where'd you hide it?
Sandy Hook. First it was in my house for a long time, but then I stopped trusting Preston.
Yeah, what's the deal with Preston? Was he...
No, he's cool.
Did he end up, like, helping you with it or not?
Oh, yeah. Dude, tonight we just tried to rob a drug dealer together. We just drove down to, fucking...
is that what you were in South
Stockton.
Jersey for?
Yeah, we were down there. We were gonna steal this fucking guy's safe. And we get to the house, and he moved. He's not at the same fucking house.
That same guy we went to that one time? Or is it a different fucking guy? I don't remember.
You drove down there with us one time to get drugs?
Yeah, me and...
Yeah, so drugs, funny enough, have got a lot to do with it. So they're smoking marijuana. He's paranoid. He's got to a point where he wasn't even trusting Preston. Because this is what would happen, isn't it? They're roommates. They're smoking drugs together. They're getting paranoid. They're young. You know, their brains aren't working properly at the best of times, and drugs are making it worse. And then he's saying that they were off to rob a drug dealer together. This guy, thank God he did get stopped in his tracks, because he wouldn't have stopped with Sarah. I think 100% certain, especially him. I think Preston's even more pathetic in a way, because Preston just went along with whatever he told him to do. It's like, you know, Preston, but he's got no empathy. He's got no feelings for a girl he's known since he was 6 years old. He moved her body 3 times. He tipped her over the bridge with this guy. You know, saw her father going through the hell that he was going through and didn't give a shit. And he only confessed because he realised he had no other choice. And him confessing meant that he ended up with a really low sentence. So if you think if he's only going to do 15 to 18 years, he was only 19 years old. Well, he was probably 22 by the time he got sentenced. But won't they take it from the time of the offence? So if he's got 15, he's only going to be in his 30s when he comes out. So he did well through confessing, didn't he? This guy, he's never coming out, but thank God he got stopped in his tracks, because Sarah would not have been his last rodeo, that's for sure. He's got no feelings for anybody. All he wants is money. That's all that matters. So if you kill his own best friend over money, he won't stop short of killing somebody else.
Preston, yeah. Me, you, and Preston went down.
Yeah, that's who we were trying to rob. We're going to go back down tomorrow night and try again.
You know where he lives at?
Yeah, we found it tonight. There were just people there. There's a higher chance that there's not going to be people there tomorrow night.
You got to be fucking smart with that, bro.
Yeah,
Don't do any fucking stupid shit.
This is-
you're already saying the cops are on you, so you.
This is Preston's thing this time. Sarah's whole deal was my thing, but I had planned Sarah's situation for me to be interrogated by cops. Like, that was whole part of my plan to make me look not guilty. Like,
what did you end up throwing out? Right?
You didn't hear about it? It was all over the news.
Right, but I didn't know if you went through.
Yeah, and the worst part is, we threw her off the bridge, and the body never showed up.
It's probably frozen.
It's probably all the way out in the ocean.
And it's fucking frozen, so she's not coming up anytime soon. Her body's probably at the bottom of the fucking ocean, or she got eaten by a shark or some fucking shit.
Yeah.
Bro, this is like a fucking movie, bro.
Yeah, and dude, all right, so I'm hanging out with her. She has, we went to the bank. She took some money out, not all of her money. We're counting it out, and then she goes to walk out the front door. I choke her out, drag her.
So Barry, so see the cult. So he's gone to the bank with her. She's taken some money out. Sarah trusted this twonk. She trusted him implicitly, didn't she? She wasn't. She would not have occurred to her for one moment that she might have been in danger from someone. This man who was her best friend that she'd known since she was 6. Would not even have occurred to her, because if she would have, because I mean she looked like she could handle herself a bit. If he wouldn't have caught her from behind like that, I don't think he would have found it so easy to subdue her. God, I think she would have put up a good fight, and this, honestly, I just want to kill him. I just want to slap him across the face. And, talk about a face only a mother could love. I could not love it. His mum is his mum, and I suppose he'll always be a boy, whatever. But really, what if you'd seen this, which she will have seen this, she's in total denial. She's saying that he could never have killed Sarah. He loved Sarah. They had a fabulous relationship. There's no way he could have killed her, even though the other guy, Preston, has confessed to it. I mean, how in denial can you be? You've got like his accomplice admitting what's happened and that what they did with the body, etc. And his mom is still saying, no, he didn't do it. This is how dangerous denial is, how scary it is. But yeah, when I just want to slap it, he's got a face that you just want to slap. He looks like a little spoilt boy, doesn't he?
Biggest problem was the dog, and her dog laid there and watched as I killed her. Didn't do anything. Her fucking dog. What kind of dog? Yeah, what kind of dog is that? It's like some.
Was it a big
It
dog?
looks like a beagle, but it's like the size of a Great Dane.
What sort of dog? So he's even fucking blaming the dog now. Right, so swearing now because you can't bring the dog into it. I mean, I'm surprised that the dog didn't do anything. I am surprised, but the dog was probably terrified of him because dogs do sense things. So the dog was probably absolutely shitting itself, but I'm surprised it didn't attack him. I'm sorry it didn't attack him. I know for a fact out of our 3 dogs, the German Shepherd would do something. My little Rocky, the brown dog, he would do something. And Riley, the white dog, he would do absolutely nothing. Because, well, I say that, but you know what? You don't know till it comes to the situation. And it's not about the size of the dog. My little poodle that I had years ago, he was a very defensive dog. Some little dogs are like, they've got lion hearts, haven't they? But this dog did nothing. And it's a shame. But the way he says that, what kind of dog is that? What is he trying to say? It's almost like he's blaming the dog because he murdered Sarah. It's the dog's fault now. Fucking idiot.
To walk. Her fucking dog. What kind of
dog?
Yeah, what kind of dog is that? It's like some.
Was it a big
It
dog?
looks like a beagle, but it's like the size of a Great Dane.
Jeez. Nobody was there? Grandma was
No,
there?
nobody was there. Even her dad wasn't there. He was in Florida.
Yeah, you said that he was going
Yeah.
away.
So I have to leave. I fucking dropped my phone at Sarah's house. My phone was at Sarah's house. Like,
Wait, you left your phone?
yeah, I lost it. I couldn't find it. I had to go to work. I had timed everything out so
What the
that,
fuck? Why did you take your phone? You should have left it in your fucking pocket.
dude,
What were you doing?
strangling someone. I couldn't find it, dude.
Oh my
It ended up
God.
being out in the driveway.
What were you doing? Strangling someone? Joe, this guy who sort of got this confession out of him, he was brave, really, because he sat in the car with a psychopath, isn't he? And if this guy, because he searched him, you know, I don't know if you noticed that at the beginning of the video, he patted him down. He must have been shitting himself when he was doing that, because I don't know where the recording device is. But he patted him down and said, "Oh, I just want to make sure, dude," you know, and all that. So he took a chance, didn't he, this guy? He's sat in the car with a murderer. He knows he's a psychopath, and all right, the police are listening, but I'm presuming they're not that far away either. But, you know, still, that's a big, just shows you he did the right thing. Some people do the right thing. And even some teenagers do the right thing. You know, sometimes you think, oh my God, because how could he be so callous? You know, there's a big thing wrong with this guy to be so callous, but the other one's no better either, Preston.
Oh, it must have dropped out of your
I
pocket.
must have dropped when I was crawling to get in the car. But I choke her out, drag her into the back, put her in the bathroom, and then I had to go straight to work. So Preston came over, took the body, put it in the bushes, and then I was at work. I had a full, night of work, except I left work a couple times, which looks sketchy. To look for my phone, though, which is a reasonable, thing to do.
Yeah, you gotta look for your phone. Yeah, you can't.
Which is kind of, me losing my phone was kind of a good thing, because the cops are like, oh, he's hanging out with her, he lost his phone, he's going back and forth between his house looking for it. And then I get off work that night, go straight over, Preston and I go over to her house, take her safe, bring that over to my house before we do anything. Then we take her body out of the bushes and drag it over to her back fence, and I crawl, get into her car, and I back up. There's a security camera across the street, so I had to act like her. I watched her every time she backed out. She does the same thing, so I backed out exactly like she did and drove off.
You put her in the trunk?
No, I put her in the passenger seat of her own car. And then Preston and I had these walkie-talkies to communicate with. We just used them again. So I was driving, and I had her buckled in the passenger seat.
So she looks like she's just sleeping.
She's just sitting up. And my plan was, for me, I underestimated my own strength.
So he's done Stephen Stearns there. He's put her in the car, sat her up as if she's alive, but of course she wasn't. She was deceased. Yeah, he's a bit like Stephen Stearns, isn't he? All those criminal masterminds.
And how much a dead body would weigh. Because
it's lint weight.
Yeah. I got up on top of the bridge to throw her off. My plan was I was going to throw her off, run over, jump over the divider, and get into Preston's car. And I go up, open the door, unhook her, pull her out, start dragging her to throw her over, and then cars start coming up. I see headlights coming. I try to get her over, and I can't. Fuck my leg up. The weight from her body made me fall, and my leg went up. So now I'm limping, my leg's fucked up, and there's 3 cars coming up. So I grab her body. Dude, I had superhuman strength, and I threw it in the car, and I fucking picked it up, and her feet were up here, and her head was down there, and 3 cars go by, and I'm.
Do you know, he's like, this is why he is a definite psychopath, is because he's actually enjoying talking about it. He can't stop talking about it. He thinks he can trust it. You know, this is his mate. He thinks he can talk to him. And he thinks he's just as much of a psychopath as he is. But also his brain's so addled from the drugs he's been taking. You know, he don't even know what he's talking about, really, does he? He's talking about, it probably doesn't even feel real to him, because he's just, you know, his brain's, like you said, David, his brain's just mush from the amount of drugs he's taken at his age. And I wonder how he's getting on in prison. Badly, hopefully.
I'm fucking losing my shit, because that easily could have been a cop.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, the police station is like right there.
yeah. And then Preston comes over the bridge, goes around, makes a U-turn, comes up behind me. The 2 of us throw the body over, and then we're out.
Oh, so you needed help?
I needed help, yeah.
Damn. She's not even that big of a girl, right?
No. I would say 160 pounds, max.
So you just counted it out and then fucking went behind her, just without her looking?
Mm-hmm.
She like screaming and shit? Or you had her so tight that it was like...
I pretty much hung her, like, I just...
Choked her up for 30 minutes.
I choked her out, and then she was just laying there having a seizure or something. So then I got a shirt, and I just shoved it down her throat so she wouldn't throw up or anything, and held my finger over her.
Poor Sarah. So what she had to go through, do you know, and he said, I don't know if you heard that, but he said that when he started killing her, so she wet herself, bless her. Do you imagine how terrified she was? I hate this man so much, honestly. I hate him. I wish I hadn't watched this again now, but at least now I'm remembering why I hate him so much. You know, you hate most criminals, all these perpetrators, but some are worse than others. To me, is that just the betrayal of it. You know, not only what he did, which is bad enough, but to do it to your best friend. A girl who trusted you, who's known you from 6 years old. You know, your little group was called the squad. You used to, you know, you were all friends. He's just, honestly, I hope he gets his karma back big time. And it's, you know, I always try and sort of forgive people, or, you know, well, it's not up to me to forgive him. It's up to Dad to forgive him, you know. The people that are actively affected by these cases, but he is really, the way he's enjoying talking about it as well. It's like he's like the big man, isn't he? You know, and what he did to a girl, he took a girl from behind like that. I tell you what, I bet if she would have seen him coming, she could have given him a good run for his money, because he's a wimp. He's not a brave person. He's not a big man like he thinks he is. He attacked Sarah from behind, and didn't give her, you know, she didn't have a chance, because he was someone she trusted above all others. So he's holding her like that, and then he shoved a rag down her throat. That you know, it's like, I mean, he's like the devil incarnate, isn't he? He's evil. But his mum doesn't think he did it.
Her nose, and set a timer. That's the only time I had my phone. And it took me like a half an hour after I hit start on the timer. This is the thing about, like, heists. There's so much shit that you can't account for.
You don't know.
Yeah. You don't know until it happens. And then the next month was just me getting interrogated by cops. over and over and over again.
Poor you.
Why? Because you were the last one to be with her?
Yeah.
And they knew through the phone, I guess? Through the phone calls?
They knew because it was just it was part of my plan for them to know that we were hanging out.
Right.
Because I needed to make it seem like we were better friends than we actually were, so that they wouldn't question my behavior with her.
What about like your brother and shit? Did he question anything? He doesn't know.
Josh did. Josh is the only one that I've seen him question, but he wouldn't do anything.
So you told him?
No. You are the only person on this planet that knows besides Preston. And Preston doesn't know that you know. And I think we should probably get back to our house.
I mean, I gotta head back to fucking Brooklyn.
Word.
Because I got to fucking work at 6 a.m.
True. Because Preston doesn't like this idea.
Right.
He doesn't like that you didn't just come to the house. And if he knows that you know, I don't want him, I don't want there to be a chance.
I'm not no fucking rat, bro.
Yeah.
You don't have to
I know
fucking
that
question me. I'm in Brooklyn. The cops haven't questioned me. It's
I
not
know
like
you.
nothing.
I know you're not a rat, but we gotta play it safe. Anyone?
No, yeah, I understand. Yeah.
It could be anyone, and I don't want Preston to think that he has to kill you and take you out because you are the only person that knows. Because I've tried to.
I don't want Preston to think he has to kill you. Oh my God. Now, this guy who sat, Anthony, who sat listening to it all, I wonder if he does end up making a film about it. I hope he does. I hope he does make a film about it. I think he's been very brave what he's done here, and if what he gets is some material to make a film about this, good, because he's brought, if it wasn't for him, these two guys, because there was no evidence. Is this confession was the evidence. So he did, oh God. He's just said to him, I don't want Preston to think he has to kill you. I bet the guy's thinking, bloody hell, I hope the police do. I hope he does get found guilty.
Tried to imply that you might know, and he gets really upset. So
maybe don't tell him.
Don't tell him.
Don't tell him.
Yeah. But you're the only person besides Preston that knows. When I told you that in the beginning, that's how it was going to be. I planned this thing out for like 6 months. Living comfortably in my house, tripping, throwing parties all the time, doing whatever the fuck I
I
want
see
to
your
do.
Snapchat. You're fucking drinking and shit every day.
Dude.
Be careful though. Don't drink too much.
Oh, yeah, well, as long as you had enough money to sit in your house tripping and having parties all the time, your best friend's dead, but never mind, eh?
No,
I don't want you to like hurt yourself.
I'm coming off a bender right now. I was just fucked up from everything, all kinds of drugs.
Be careful,
cocaine, Adderall, whatever.
Be careful.
Shrooms, acid.
You can't do that shit too much, bro. I told you. It's
No,
gonna
it
turn
was
your fucking mind into mush.
No, it was just a experimental time. I've never really done a lot of drugs, so I just wanted to try it all out, trip a little bit, find myself.
Well, you did it, so just stay away from that shit.
Yeah.
No, seriously, because I don't want you to fucking be fucking stupid after all this shit.
No.
Because one bad acid trip could ruin your life.
Yeah. I've done acid once, and I had a bad acid trip.
Yeah, don't fucking. I'm like, oh man.
I did acid, and the cops came and took Preston to interrogate him.
Oh, so you were on acid?
I was on acid, and first of all, I come out of the shower, Preston's mom's on the couch talking to him. They're all like secretive and shit. And I just go in my room and freaking out, like, what the fuck is she doing over here? She leaves. Next thing I know, fucking the entire Belmar police force is at my fucking door taking Preston away. Like, I thought they were arresting him. He was gonna tell them everything.
He didn't say a fucking word though?
He didn't say anything, and I was fucking losing my shit when I was tripping. Like,
yeah, you're probably
that was
scared as fuck. That's not a good. That's
not
what
a
I'm
good
saying.
place
You
to
gotta
be.
fucking stay away from that shit.
Yeah.
Fucking be careful.
I learned the hard way, but now I know.
Yeah, my fucking camera fucking broke. Dude, I was so pissed. It fell right into a bucket of blood. I was shooting. It fell off the fucking tripod. Fell right into a fucking
Did you
bucket
get
of blood.
money?
No, I have to talk to my dad about it still. But This just fucking blows. And I don't know. Like, I don't know. I have to shoot on Thursday. I might have to borrow a camera or something. Like, I really have no idea what the fuck I'm gonna do. What are you up to tonight?
Nothing.
Hanging out.
I was gonna make some money tonight and get some. I thought I was like definitely making between 4 to 10 grand tonight and getting like 4 pounds of weed on top of it, and it didn't work out. So that might happen tomorrow.
Well, be fucking careful, yo. I mean, the cops are already fucking, like, they're already questioning.
So don't forget, he was going to rob a drug dealer. I mean, maybe you just get the feeling with this lad, if he didn't end up in prison, he was going to end up getting shot or something anyway. You don't go and rob a drug dealer, do you? I mean, you're going to get... So if you go and rob a drug dealer, that drug dealer is probably, got that some of that money will belong to other drug dealers or somewhere along the line. They're not going to be happy with some sort of college kid or whatever going along and robbing them and taking their weed off them or their money off them. So he was going to, maybe he's lucky he did go to prison, because he would have ended up getting shot otherwise.
So you gotta fucking be careful.
That's all over now, though. I think everything's over.
So you don't gotta worry about that shit.
I don't know. Because a 19-year-old just went missing, just like Sarah. Car was on the bridge. They're gonna think that, like, a trail of murders are caused by me. That's the thing. Like, Preston wanted to go here tonight, and I told him, all these guys know him, so if he's recognized, they're gonna go to the head drug dealer, and he's gonna find Preston and kill him. So I'm like, you realize you need to weigh out the risk and reward, because you're going in there thinking that you're going to see this guy and knock him out, and that's going to be it. I'm killing all of them. Yeah.
Do you have like a gun or anything? Or just going in there empty-handed?
Going in there empty-handed, hoping that there's no one there.
Well, I mean, the drug dealers, you better be careful. You hope they don't have a gun or something.
No, they're...
Well, that just shows how thick he is, doesn't it? So he's going into a drug dealer's house, he's got no weapon, or he's just going in there and just hoping no one's there. I think this is like hysterical laughter. It just seems even more awful as well when someone's killed by a total thicko like this, and literally, if he wouldn't have come up behind Sarah like that, I think she would have, really fought for her life, and he never gave her a chance to do that. But he wouldn't have he thinks he's so clever and so hard, and he's just this jumped up little shit whose mum thinks the sun shines out of his ass.
They're frat guys. They're all out at an event. That's the thing. They're all out doing this frat event.
Oh, so
the house is empty.
you're gonna hit the house when nobody's in there.
Yeah. And if anybody's in there, I'm gonna kill them and bury their body.
Who's that?
Oh.
How do you roll this one? It's over here.
Can you guys do me a huge favor? Give me a ride like right down the road.
Nah, I can't. I got so much shit in my fucking back. I'm sorry. I can't.
Really?
Oh my God.
Nah, I really can't. I'm sorry about that.
Oh my God, she doesn't know how lucky she is. To get in a car with him, you end up being pushed over the fucking bridge, man. He smiled.
I think that's a crackhead. Maybe.
She looked all fucking junky out or something.
Oh, she's a crackhead.
No.
No, hell no, I'm not giving you a ride so she could steal my fucking equipment and shit.
Get out of here.
Hell no. Fucking cunt.
I don't know who you're talking to. About killing people.
He's lovely, isn't he? Now, do you know, as I'm just watching this, I'm thinking when he's talking about the equipment he's got in his car, it's a wonder he did. He said, go, my God, you just be careful, because if he thinks he can get some money out of your equipment, you wouldn't put it past him to rob the equipment, would you, and push him over the bridge?
Oh. It's like the fucking Iceman, bro.
No, the Iceman makes everything out to be more dramatic than it really is. That guy's got some real psychological problems.
Yeah, those tapes are fucking crazy.
I don't feel any different.
Who's he talking about? He's talking about someone who's saying he's got real psychological problems. Not like you, Liam.
Oh,
it's like the fucking Iceman, bro.
No, the Iceman makes everything out to be more dramatic than it really is.
The Iceman makes everything out to be more dramatic than it really is. But you don't think it's dramatic murdering your best friend then? Oh my God, this guy is just unbelievable.
That guy's got some real psychological problems.
Now he's got real psychological
Yeah,
problems.
those tapes are fucking crazy.
I don't feel any different than I don't think about it.
Yeah, there you go. So that was the other thing he said. I don't feel any different. I don't even think about it. That's how much Sarah meant to him. Murdering her meant to him nothing.
You always think you're going to try these new things and you're going to change.
But it didn't change.
It just doesn't do anything. Like tonight, we were going to fucking potentially kill a bunch of people and get a bunch of drugs and money. And nothing. It's weird.
You're weird. You're weird. At least your mummy loves you.
It's your life. You might as well make it one. What, are you going to live some boring-ass life?
I'm thinking about moving to LA after the summer. Yeah, I gotta just save up this money. I think I'm getting this union job. I think it's pulling through. So it's
And that's in California?
No, that's in New York. Local 52.
I'm trying to get in local 68.
Is that AC air conditioning or AC heat?
Operating engineers. I just need to have experience heating, cooling, refrigeration, all that kind of shit before I get the engineer job.
Yeah.
So he's just gone from saying, you've only got one life, you might as well live it. Well, don't have a boring life. I'm going to kill all these drug dealers and I'm going to do this shit and that shit. And then he says he wants to be an air conditioning engineer. Oh, that's what the drugs do to your brain. He hasn't, he's talking shite. And he doesn't even realise he's talking shite.
So I got to work all these shitty jobs first.
Yeah. He's got to work all these shitty jobs first, but he could kill a few drug dealers and a few best friends, I suppose. I mean, it's like, it's ridiculous. But unfortunately, it's true. And that's what's the most horrible thing of all. All of this, you're sort of looking at it and it's almost amusing, isn't it? But then you remember that he actually killed a 19-year-old girl. He actually did it. And then he's so drugged up, his brain's so adult from the drugs, he doesn't even see the implications.
It'll be worth it.
Oh, Tina just texted me. She said dinner's ready. Fuck. I gotta take this fucking 2-hour drive. Fucking, this sucks. Bro, it was good seeing you, bro. Yeah. When I come back down, let's fucking do something. Listen, look at me. Be safe, alright?
Yeah.
Don't do any fucking stupid shit.
Listen, I'm not going to let Preston do anything dumb. I did something really dumb, and I planned it out for half a year. I have patience. I got it.
It's good talking to you, bro.
Good talking.
Take it easy, bro. Safe travels, alright?
You too.
You got everything?
Yeah.
Alright, peace out.
Anyway, that is the confession. That is the confession that, took him to prison. But let's not forget what his mum says. So when that confession was recorded, the police went, they arrested Preston, they arrested him, and Preston sang like a canary and admitted everything. But his mummy, Liam's mummy, still does not believe that her little Liam could possibly have done this, even though his friend has admitted it. So when she was interviewed for an ABC News 2022 hour special, Megan Matasny. Now, I'm sorry, Megan, if you're watching this, I feel sorry for you, but you know what? I have no words. Your son, he murdered Sarah Stern. You know, he did it. He admitted it. His friend has admitted it. They're both as bad as each other. I mean, I do feel that Preston got off lightly, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Liam is a twonk. So this is what she said. Liam doesn't speak about things light-heartedly. That was not Liam to me describing an actual murder. That's not the tone he uses about something serious. It was an act, she said. With every bone in my body, I do not believe Liam is capable of killing Sarah Stern, who he loved and adored. I do not think Liam is capable of killing anybody, she said. Up until her son was charged, McAtasney's mother said she thought Sarah Stern had run away. We grew up at the beach, and when somebody goes in the water, they wash up somewhere. And when Sarah didn't wash up anywhere, it gives us hope. Maybe she had run away. Megan Matasny thought that Sarah was running away because she'd been moving her belongings into the homes of trusted friends. Her son had told investigators that Stern had thought about moving to Canada and that she had previously entertained self-deletion thoughts and had a rocky relationship with her father, who was on vacation in Florida at the time of her disappearance. All these things were making sense, and for some reason she felt she couldn't tell any of us. That's what I was thinking, and why I didn't understand why my son was being charged. Now, surely she knows now. Does she know now with the confession? What does she say? Let me see. No, it seems like she still thinks that Sarah's still alive somewhere, that she ran away, despite the confession. So anyway, never mind. Okay, so I wonder, am I there? I think I'm still there. Well, that's right, exactly, Kelly. She wouldn't leave a dog apart from anything else. Don't know why this is what's going on? Let's put that up. Right, okay, let's get rid of that. It's been one of those technical failures tonight. But anyway, I wanted to tell this story about Sarah. I've wanted to tell the story of Sarah for a long time. I was going to put a video together, not do a live about it. But the thing is, there's so much that I wanted to say. I thought, oh my God, it's going to take about 6 months to make that video because there was so much that I wanted to say about it. But anyway, night, Laurie, I'm finishing now anyway. So I just wanted to tell Sarah's story. Rest in peace, Sarah. I hope her dad's okay. Of course, time's running on, but at least he knows what happened to his daughter. He didn't have he couldn't bring her home and give her a proper burial or in that way, but they had a memorial service for her. There is a Facebook page, but no one has there's been no post put on there for quite a long time, so I hope her dad is okay. But anyway, I hope those two are not okay in prison, and I'm glad that I've finally been able to tell Sarah's story. Rest in peace, Sarah. And I hope she's with her mum. I hope she's with her mum who she lost when she was only a little girl. Okay, so I'm going to put on some nice music and put some photos of Sarah up there. I'll see you really soon in the next video. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to leave your DNA on the like button, and please consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Thank you. And until I see you again, may your God, as always, go with you. Let's put some nice pictures up of Sarah. And some music.